So tell everyone your name and a little bit about yourself.
My name is Bonita Holloman Clark. I am from St. Petersburg, Florida. I am a family nurse practitioner. I'm a mother of 3 and a grandmother of 5. I've been in healthcare for 33 years now. I started as a hospitality aide. And as a hospitality aide, I made beds, stocked the linen closets, passed ice water. There was like no patient care involved when I started in healthcare. So then I went ahead and went to school to be a CNA. After CNA, I knew there was so much more that I could do. I went ahead and I studied to become an LPN. Stayed an LPN for approximately 5 years. So knew there was still more that I can do. So went back to school and studied to be a registered nurse. And in my 4th year of nursing school as a registered nurse, I found out I was pregnant with my 3rd child. Well, I had to go to travel as an RN and to just see the world through my career.
Tell us about a moment in your life when it was the lowest moment. You felt like maybe it was life or death, and if God didn't fix it, it wasn't going to get fixed. Tell me about it.
Okay, well, I'm going to take you back.
Okay.
It was back in 1994, 95-ish. I'm my older 2 kids' dad. We went on our separate ways, working 3 jobs, and trying to provide for the household. And it was quite difficult, trying to pay the bills and keep a roof over our head. And at one point, couldn't do that. So it was like my kids and I were living in an apartment. We didn't have any utilities at the time. Our lights had been turned off. I was driving a car that could barely get me from point A to point B. And it was just a really rough time at that moment. I was introduced by a friend of mine to go to Mount Zion Progressive Ministry Baptist Church. And that's where I found my light. And that's where my life began to turn around. I was raised in church. My mom, we were raised holiness from a little bitty child up until I was 15 and was tired of going to church every Sunday, Wednesday, Tuesday, Friday, or whenever the doors open. So, but at that point in my life, because I didn't see another way, I just did not see another way. It was hard. It was difficult. It was also embarrassing.
Tell me about it. In that probably the one that sticks out to you that was probably one of the worst or most embarrassing
during that moment in my life, being able to give my kids or myself even some the basic needs that we needed: shelter, running water, lights, those type things. I even had someone call DCF on me at the time. That was going. Instead of offering to help, she called DCF on them. It just happened to be a day that I didn't send my kids to school like that on that day. We were getting ready to go out the door. I think I was going to a community organization to get some utilities paid or whatever. And there's a lady getting out of her car, parked in front of my house, and I was thinking, what's going on? And who is this lady? So she introduced herself as a DCF worker, and she had some complaints that she needed to investigate.
Wow.
But she gave me resources. My house is clean. The lights may not have been on, but the house was clean. So she was like, well, your house is cleaner than my house is.
Wow.
We'll just give you some help and get you what you need.
That's a prime example of what the devil meant for bad.
Absolutely.
God worked it for you.
Absolutely. But I was staying in that same apartment, and I had my first child at 15. So I dropped out of high school. I was in 10th grade. That was the highest education I had at that time. And I went back to school and got my GED. I could remember people saying, you'll know if you pass the test or not, because you're going to have a big brown envelope in the mail. One day I was coming home from probably after working a triple shift or whatever. And when I turned the corner, there was a big brown envelope hanging out of the mailbox. And I knew at that moment, this was my moment. Ran to the mailbox. I got the envelope, and sure enough, my high school diploma was at there. The next day, I went to P-Tech in St. Petersburg. I didn't know what I was going to do, but I knew I didn't want to be a CNA anymore. So I met with a counselor, and the counselor was giving me all these different things I can do. She said, I don't know if you want to go back to school to be a nurse. That's hard. I don't know if you want to do such and such because you just getting your diploma. You've been out of school for so long. So I said, no, I do what I want to do. At that moment, I went back to school to do respiratory therapy technician. Finished that program. 3 months into my job, they start pulling away technician positions. So at that moment, I didn't have the confidence. I didn't believe in myself to be able to be a registered respiratory therapist because that's what it took. I was like, there is no way I can do this. I got to find something else to do. Went back to P-Tech and spoke to another advisor. And she said, well, why don't you do the LPN program? You're working in healthcare now. So, okay, I thought about it. I talked to a friend girl about how we had just completed the respiratory therapy program. So that's what we did. Another 12 months out of life.
Yeah.
My mom, well, my parents at the time was helping me with my children. So I was able to go back to school and didn't worry about babysitting fees or what I was going to do. Or I went to school full-time, worked full-time, and worked part-time.
Wow.
In order to make ends meet.
But look at you now.
Absolutely.
God is amazing.
Yeah, see, it's good. But at the time, I had committed myself to Christ as well. So that made the biggest difference in my life.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Thank you for sharing your testimony. Amazing testimony. So before I let you go, I need you to look at the camera and tell the young lady or even young man that's watching this your name and what God got you up from.
My name is Bonita Clark. And what God brought me from a little bit to a lot was through prayer, was through dedication, and through trusting Him throughout it all.